Welcome to a beautiful, partly cloudy early evening at Laguna Seca. Late on a Saturday evening. I had 5 or 6 people in the lobby here at one point, but it's really hard to get people to, like, if they show up, and I don't know what they expect. Like, there's nothing new on this game. It's over 3 years old, and there's a few new cars and engine swaps and such, but I don't know what they expect. Like, why come in the lobby if you're just gonna leave right away? But that's what people do, so it's hard to sustain people. I had 5 or 6 people in here though. And they reset it and give it another try. Our guy Liam from Ireland. I had just joined his lobby at the same track at Laguna Seca just prior. It looks like there was some issue with that and that shut down, and then he joined mine here. Pardon me. $2:30 a.m. Most of people I know in the game are American. Quite a bit of people active still. Yeah, everybody in the US. But none of this really interests me. I'll try it leaving Sega once more. From or by somebody who seems to run very successful lobbies that the term track day in the title of lobbies draws a lot of people in. So we'll test it and see if that is the case. Right now, Laguna is not one of the most popular tracks on the game, even though it's been on every game since Gran Turismo 2 and is pretty iconic to the series, and is also a world famous track with a world famous turn. But I think people don't like the flat technical turns that it has. But it's one of my favorite tracks on the game for sure, and my favorite on the planet as well. And I do like the idea of track days, especially in real life, but even on the game. But track days generally just mean that you're kind of running what you've run, street-based cars or whatever. And running hot laps, testing setups, running hot laps. Out there just having fun as amateurs. So, I mean, basically, I'm not sure why it's a popular term in the game, because it just basically means it's a free run. This livery, it came in several colors. It came on a special LM edition S2000. I think starting on Gran Turismo 2. There was a similar one on an Acura RSX or Honda RSX Integra. I think black with green, red, yellow, blue, and purple. Orange, maybe too. I don't know if pink was actually an original color, but it is the color on this design scheme now. people. I need some people to commit here. This is one of the funnest tracks on the game. And nobody's committing. Everybody's leaving. I don't know what you expect when you join. You join, you see there's 2 or 3 people in there. And then you just immediately leave. Maybe people just want to see a room full of 16 Porsche 992 GT3 RSs, which are kind of some of the most overpowered cars at any street car level of performance. It seems like that's all people drive. 992 GT3 RSs and C6 Corvettes seem to be another OP car. Ferrari Enzo, I believe. Nissan GTR R35 T-Spec. There's basically a handful. And everybody always has to take the meta car now in this era of online racing, rather than just making the most of the cars that they enjoy. Seems like there's not like the passion for the cars or the sport itself or whatever amongst the community so much anymore. People are just here to play a game and win at it, I guess. There's only one winner in a race, so you don't win most of the time, no matter who you are. So you may as well take a car based on your enjoyment of it, of driving it, of seeing it, of feeling it. Get just taking a car that you think can win every time, because you're just not going to win every time no matter what, especially when at least 1, if not 2, 3, 4 other people are going to take the same car in the same race. And one-make racing is cool, it has its place, but the same handful of cars in a game that's about like motorsport as a whole, and has always had wide selections of cars, hundreds of cars. It doesn't make any sense to me to always be running the same cars just because they're the fastest. Challenge yourself. Drive something a little bit slower and see if you can beat the guys in the faster stuff. Certainly possible to track like this that doesn't have really lengthy straightaways. It just has a lot of technical corners that entry and exit and optimizing your line through each corner is a big deal, because the straightaways are short. Maybe that's why a lot of people don't like to run this track these days on GT7. Just the technicality of it. So actual skill on the track and with techniques is an even bigger separator here than probably most places. nasty snapback. Looks like Opie Young is running sports hard tires on whatever car he's in. Oops. Ran that one deep. I'm all for restricting the tires too. Oh, pardon me. Sports rather than racing in some races and events, but don't much get the point of it when you're just hot-lapping the race the hardest, slickest sports tires as opposed to some racing tires. Especially with the amount of power most cars have in this game. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to run inferior tires when you're driving a 6, 7, 8, 900 horsepower car or more. And almost every car, once you modify it, is 600 horsepower plus. Let's reopen and see if we can get any people in, possibly change tracks. I was gonna ask this gentleman who's stuck in the room, or gentlelady, whoever it is, if they had any track preferences, but they're gone. I'll head over to Autodrome Lago Maggiore, the East End Reverse Circuit, which is a very cool, technical little short track. So this person is in the CHC custom shop, Chevy Nova, and it's cab livery. Kind of reminded me of Yellow Jacket from Twisted Metal, and incidentally, I have a CHC Nova that is inspired by Thumper from Twisted Metal. So we'll run him, and then this guy will come in the lobby and be like, who are these weirdos? And his name is Drippy Fart, so who knows? You're probably wondering why on earth we're just running two Novas around this technical, tight, short track. Why not? And he's gonna quit. Drippy Fart also got on a Nova, and Lenny switched cars. RX-7 with comfort hard tires on, so I'm guessing he's going to try to drift here. Which I don't think I've seen anyone do yet. This track doesn't get run much, I think it's overlooked. There's a little short track section of a track that a lot of people seem to like in the full course of Lago Maggiore. I think these short tracks pretty much get ignored. So this one doesn't get a lot of use, but I've been in it quite a bit and haven't seen anyone drift here that I can remember yet. Kind of want to see him drift here. Uh-oh. And that actually, I mean, as it is to race, it's a difficult section. But that really looks like a difficult section to drift down the hill there. That was pretty nice down that section. Looks like an M6 GT3 car. Looks like it's doable for him, but I don't know if that's the line. Coming in wide like that is that turn that like throws you out into the grass. Oops. Oh, it wasn't the M6 GT3, it was the RCF GT500 Super GT series car. Hence the blistering lap. Third guy, track G, I haven't even seen on track that I remember. Who's joining in on the live stream? It's been a pretty busy night on the GT7 lobby servers. But just nothing really going on that interests me, at least amongst people that I know or at tracks that I was trying to go to. There have been a handful of people in both tracks that I've opened up at, but everybody seems to be kind of doing their own thing. Drifting or something low power or something ridiculously high powered supercar Vision GT type stuff, so haven't really found a sweet spot yet. This guy was drifting, and now he's kind of just doing donuts, I guess. Switching back to trusty S2000. Swapped with the turbocharged K24 from the RCR tuning garage. UG Civic wide body. S2000s on this game, like more so than previous GT games that I remember. They're very temperamental once you put a decent amount of power in them. You start getting around 400 horsepower, which this one is right around 600. Just get it a little bit unpredictable. I wouldn't say necessarily unpredictable, but they definitely have a breaking point where they just snap out on you. Slid right in over the sausage curb there. Very surprised that wasn't a spin. So he's in the news S2000 with the longer nose, more downforce. They also make more power and they have their own swap you can put in them. Which makes them very fast, almost on par with the GT3 car. Without the swap, I think they go similar to what this one goes with the swap. Maybe a little more, just over 600 horsepower. Looks like he has the, I forget the guy's name now, but the protagonist from the first Fast and Furious, that livery, his S2000. He definitely sent that one in deep. And now he's just gonna give up. See if I can put down a decent lap with this car, and I may shut the slowly down and move on to something else. Hopefully find a better lobby with some more people in it, maybe an actual race. It was pretty good through that tightening downhill section. So G switched to an Integra. I'm not sure why he wasn't really keeping a steady pace with the Amuse S2000. I don't think he's going to keep up with an Integra even if it swaps. That was a sudden weird slide. I wasn't even full throttle. I don't know if that was something to do with a little bit of lag from being next to another player or what. Getting a little bit, just a little bit tight on the grass there on the corner entry. Again, a weird random oversteer. So this guy pitted in and then came back out almost immediately. I don't know what the point of that was. Maybe he's trying to just get away from me on track, I don't know. I think we'll see if we can get any takers on Suzuka. Suzuka seems to have a segment of the fan base or community or whatever that likes it a lot, but I don't know, it seems like whenever you talk to people they really like the track, or so they claim, but it doesn't have the biggest presence as far as how much it gets used in the lobby. Suzuka, a pretty long track at 3.6 miles in a front straight of 3/4 of a mile. That's a long straight. As long as this track is, if you really look at the layout, I don't know what the grounds are like there. I know the Ferris wheel is, if you look at where our red arrow is on the map in the upper right hand corner, the Ferris wheel that was shown in some of the cutscenes in the menu is behind us down at the beginning of the straight near that 90-degree bend. Top middle of the track map. And I believe off toward that direction, from what I've seen video online and such, there's over on the outside of this straightaway to our left. I think the go-kart track might be that way somewhere, amongst other fan, spectator, visitor entertainment. What's weird is if you look over from various sections of this track, there seem to be a lot of like dugout valley sections. In fact, I never even noticed this gap here. Yeah, there's an invisible wall. You can't get any closer than that. But a lot of the infield parts of this track seem to be in a valley, kind of. I'm guessing these hills that are almost all around the track are probably bigger than they look on the track. Now you see the Ferris wheel off to our right. As we lost our Polish friend from the lobby. Gonna stay in it and come what may. This is where I think that's the west course we connect. had my own room settings on, and there are no off-track reset or penalty track betting penalty or resets, anything like that. And yet they reset you there even when you're in the free run mode. Alright, I knew that track had kind of a niche following. Let's see if we can pick something a little more popular. Surprisingly, 30 pages of lobbies open. Normally at this time it seems it's more like 12 to 16 or so. And I suppose it is on the weekend. And this may be a little later than I'm normally thinking, which means it's more into the day in Europe. Nothing over 140 kilometers an hour, which comes out to probably about 89 miles an hour, less than 90 I think, is 140 kilometers an hour, somewhere close to 90. So nothing over 90 miles an hour, and we're playing a racing game. where half the corners or more you take at 90 miles an hour or higher. I do not understand these lobbies. They need to allow users to sort rooms by how full they are, search by keywords, and just search by any words in the title and such. GR1 and GR3 mixed class race would be fun, but the BOP is ineffective. I don't know why people do it. It neuters way too many cars and does not even out the classes. And additionally, they're at Fuji, which in my opinion is just a horrendous track to drive. But I do like the multi-class idea. Yeah, there's just not anything interesting going on. So we're going to try once again. Put something together in hopes people will actually join. Mount Panorama is amongst my favorite tracks. And it does seem like a large portion of the community on this game also like it. So we'll try Mount Panorama. It's just got a lot of straight on it. And at times that gets kind of tiresome. I'm the track seems massive, but it's still not. It's still not as big as Road America at 4 miles, 4.04 or whatever it is. Now 1.19 miles straight. And yet, even with all that straightaway, and the other large straight, and the shorter front straight where the pits are, even with all that, it still feels like a pretty long lap, even with all that high speed straight run. It feels like this track is, you know, near 4.5 miles or up to close to 5. But no, it's not even a 4-mile track. Still close to 4 miles, which is a pretty long road course. So the lobby's new, no one is joining. So either there's an issue connecting, which sometimes happens, or just nobody wants to join. it just seems like there's nothing really going on tonight. I mean, a lot of lobbies open, but not really a lot of activity. Like one person in each. The concepts of the room aren't interesting, don't seem fun. And yeah, just not really worth it to join most of these. Can't really get people to join ours tonight, so perhaps we'll have to call it a night here. Did have some good racing earlier in the evening, but this lobby run for a little over an hour here has been a little dry. Wow, that's a long... This is a long one. So this will break me to buy this, but I have been wanting to get a 356, and it's about to be gone. Unfortunately, Polyphony puts these scarcity mechanics into the game. Even though I thought that was the very point of video games, was to make things that you can't do in real life not scarce. Only 155,000 credits, and that is not allowed in this game. Let's check out the used car inventory and jump back in the lobby quick, see if there's anything of interest new that pops up. Maybe Gallardo is new. Not anything particularly of interest here that is new. Alright, not gonna give up quite that easy. Try once more to get something going here. The track selection on this game is just there's a lot of mediocrity, both the real and the fictional tracks. I'll try Road Atlanta once. It does feel like lately it's been harder to get people in the lobbies overall. I'm wondering if that has something to do with the increasingly bad relations that we have with the rest of the world these days. Those people not wanting to join lobbies of Americans. And at this time, not many Americans are up. It's people from elsewhere in the world. Alright. Nobody's joined. It's only been a couple minutes or a few minutes, but maybe it's time to shut it down for the evening. So, good night. Thanks for joining me.